疲れた。Yeah, yeah. When? How often do I follow through on that? Right. The problem though is that again, there's about 10, I guess 9 by tomorrow. 9 days before the next exam, so I kinda can't afford to not. Where's my Apple Pencil? Ah, shit. Where is it? Come on. Yeah, there it is. There it is. I thought I might have left my my Apple Pencil at home. That would have sucked. Potato. Wait. Sorry. Have you been here before? I I can't see the. I don't have access to that information right now, but the username looks a little familiar. Everything's a blur. Not first time. All right. So if you're looking for a cute anime girl with a cute anime voice, sorry to disappoint. If you get this, feel free to stay. Right now I am studying. Well, I had to take a week off to deal with some stuff, so now I'm back, and I have an exam on the 21st. So so naturally losing a week of lecture just 10 days before an exam is not the best situation to be in, right? so so I'm gonna just do some studying. So yeah. All right, let's see. Where did I leave off? Jeez, it's been like ages. I can't remember what I was doing. Yeah, oof. Yeah, you know, it happens. And on the bright side, my professor is very understanding, and at least in terms of assignments, I've gotten an extension. I might have to ask for another extension, but nonetheless, you know, it's better than. It could be worse. It could be worse, is what I'm saying. Yeah. Uh, Fuck, I don't remember what lecture I was up to before. Actually, wait, I guess I can infer. Let's see. So, I just have to look at what homework assignments I've actually finished so far. Just look at the homework assignments and then figure out what lectures those align with, and then that's probably where I left off. I mean, that's where I know I left off. Yeah. Yeah. No, I want the. Jeez, maybe I can download it, or maybe I already have it downloaded. Or of course not. Shit, everything's a mess. Anyway, yeah. So that's kind of the kind of that's the whole thing. You know, that's the whole stream. Oh, I mean, not the whole stream, but that's the idea. So, I am going to try to figure out what lecture I need to start rewatching from. Say, oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, I usually try not to say because I don't want to bore people out. But so I'm an undergrad in physics. So and one of the courses that we need to graduate, or that I need to graduate, is a upper division elective class. So I'm so for that, to fill that requirement, I'm taking yeah, electromagnetism and optics. So EM. Specifically, it's second semester EM. If you're following up this far, you probably also know that Griffiths is the typical textbook to use for this class. So it'd be, I could say, it's the, I think it's called Classical Electrodynamics by Griffiths. And then it's like chapter 7 and onwards there. Oh, I can't access the problem sheet for this assignment. Where download original? No. Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah. So I do want to try to go to grad school though. So you know, EM is pretty important for grad school physics, right? It's pretty fundamental, right? So you know, so to tell the truth, I actually failed this class once. Also, I can't access the problem set, so I'll have to just guess where I left off. But um, I do want to go to grad school though, and I won't necessarily go in physics, but considering my bachelor's will be in physics, it'd be good to at least know the fundamentals there, right? So physics is really hard. That's the thing. I think, I don't think, especially in college, right? I don't really think there's inherently any difficult or easy class. I mean, there's competitiveness, right? But I feel like, regardless of the subject, a class will be easy or hard based on the professor and maybe how seriously people take their field, which is, there are some professors that kind of really don't put much, energy in teaching. Like their job is to research, right? So, or there are professors like that, right? So I feel like the difficulty is something that can vary a lot. If you get a professor that really likes their subject and is, very motivated, then a class will be much easier, right? So, and this is the weird thing. I've heard. Sorry, while I look for the last chapter I was taking note, or the last section I was taking notes on. They're from what again, this is so first of all, this is hearsay, so please don't take my word for it. But I guess there's a stereotype that humanities is typically easier than like STEM, and that's always been a little bit baffling in my head, because I feel like with STEM, there is I feel like, I don't know. It's just like, I don't see why that would be the case necessarily. I mean, unless on average the people teaching it just gave less of a shit, to be honest. It seems very strange because, like, especially with myself, I did really bad in like history in high school, and so from my perspective, it's like STEM is the easier one just because it seems like there's more structure versus, like, I feel like with history and stuff, it's very much like, for example, there's a lot of brute force like memorization, and it's like, I know like biology can be similar in terms of brute force memorization, especially in the intro classes and stuff. But that is all more to say that the difficulty should then be fairly equal given the same caliber of teacher, right? You know what I mean? So I don't know if physics is necessarily really hard, but perhaps it's harder to find really invested teachers. I don't know. Yeah, not to blame it all on the teacher, of course, or the professor, of course, but it's a little bit of a, I don't know. It's one of those things where I don't know if physics is necessarily statistically like significantly harder. I would just defer to any actual proper data taken. like I'll defer to whatever studies people have done, but I don't know. I've never read the results of any such studies, so I certainly can't make a comment. I think it's lecture 12. Oh, actually, wait, no, I just have to look at the fucking title of this thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we were talking about waveguides. The last assignment I think was on waveguides. So plasma. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, that way. I don't think very many people bother, right? It's just so for myself, I'm gonna be honest. I just don't. I'm just not smart. I'm not good at studying. So I went to community college before transferring to my undergrad, right? Um, and while I was there, well, I guess maybe taking a couple steps back. Oh, really? Okay, yeah, yeah. So you get it, you get it. But anyway, so even in high school, I didn't really have all that good grades. So that's always been a kind of a point that an aspect I've had to focus on in the past, right? Sorry, while I open like the waveguide, so plasma is here. Okay. Um, is like optimizing like learning. Um, so I tried stuff like learning Blender. I tried to learn Blender. Actually, at the time it was Maya, and then I was planning to shift to Blender at some point. But using Maya to like just do like modeling so that I could kind of spatially see concepts um, and or like using like VR. So at the time, Windows mixed reality headsets had kind of gotten like cheap. They were really trying to push that at the time. So I was like, got like a VR headset to try to see even more spatially. It's like 3D print. I also got a 3D printer for a similar reason, which actually helped for like when I was taking organic chemistry. The 3D printer actually really helped because I was able to make my own like add-ons to the molecular model sets. So and then in addition to that, I also took a course in educational psychology for I can't remember. It's like a humanities general education requirement. But so I probably put a little bit more thought into this than the average person. I just didn't want to take the default, like the basic psychology class because everyone took it, and I was just kind of like I had heard kind of the it sounded just like a basic intro psychology class, and I was like, realistically, I'm not going to use any of that information, and useful. That information's probably not going to be useful for me in the future. But educational psychology, I was like, I have a hard time learning, so that class is probably going to be more useful for me in the future, right? And it was a very interesting course. But again, I think it was a tough course, but it was very interesting, and again, I think that's maybe the subject, but I figure it's probably because the professor was really invested in the subject. So yeah. So it's more like the difficulty will scale with how much the professor does or doesn't care, and um, not necessarily one way or the other, but there's different kinds of difficulty, right? So yeah. Well, anyway, I should probably get to studying, but I can't. Shit. Okay, there's so much stuff to do. Sorry, let me just actually before I start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 lectures at an hour each. Takes about 4 hours. Well, yeah, 8 lecture actually. So 8 lectures, and it takes about 4 hours to annotate each lecture. So that's 32 hours. So if I want to do it by the end of this weekend, then 8 hours. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to live on campus for the next week. Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, so not to chat too long, but anyway, so yeah, that's the idea. If so, in general, this is supposed to be a productivity stream. So for me, that's often studying. Sometimes I'll do some programming. Sometimes I'll do some drawing. And that's all it really is. Some people use the stream as a way to kind of motivate themselves to study, or so they say, or so I encourage them. Some people just kind of are kind enough to just leave the stream open while they do other stuff. So but there's no real yeah, that's all the stream really is. So yeah. Oh, I forgot. These lectures, the audio isn't normalized on these lecture recordings. It pisses me off so much. Yeah. Oh yeah, no worries, no worries. It's just I might slow down on replying. It's just I don't blame this professor, but I think he records on a GoPro and then I think he just uploads it directly. So the audio isn't normalized. It's so hard to hear. Just have to like max out the volume. There we go. All right, there we go. Let's start. It's lecture 12. Okay. This lecture is probably going to go a little faster because I was in class on this day, so I'm going to review it just so I know, just, remind myself. Oh, I probably should have asked. I don't know if you're still there, but if you are, you said that you also are on the community college route. I was just kind of curious what you were, what kind of, yeah, yeah. Of course, within the range that you're comfortable with answering. Yeah. I mean, if anything, I'm the one that should be careful because I've pretty much doxed myself by talking about what research I'm currently involved in. So I'll have 1% or 100% doxed myself once our publication goes out. Oh, hey, no, just saying. You said when I was talking about community college, you had mentioned or you had said let's see, uh I think you said same or something, and so I was just wondering, like where you were, or like what you were studying, or I don't know. Yeah, like again within the what you're comfortable talking about. Yeah, but yeah, no, you deserve to go to the bathroom in peace. So whenever you got time to reply, I gotta. Yeah, right, let's see. I'm so glad this professor records all his lectures, though. Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say this. Okay, high school though. Okay, that's good. That's good. You got time. You don't have to go down my route. But yeah, I mean, I will definitely vouch for community college being beneficial. I actually spoke with this to so I went home recently for a reason, and I spoke with my mom a little bit about this in the car. But like, college isn't the only route. Like, so like, and even if you do go to college, it's like going straight to a 4 year is definitely helpful, but there are benefits to going to community college, but I think it really just depends on what where you want to go, of course, but then also realistically what options you have. um like I one of my colleagues in the lab is also a fellow undergrad, but he transferred into this university as a freshman. So he's had 4 years to kind of network with professors and build up a lot of experience. So he's a really smart guy. So like in his case, coming straight to this university was out of high school was fantastic because it made him, or it gives him a much stronger resume. He's already smart, but then he's got all of this. He had an extra essentially all 4 years to kind of explore and kind of develop skills. Whereas if you go to community college, it's cheaper, right? So if you don't have money, then you don't really have much of another option, right? But you do lose out on 2 years worth of the ability to really network with like researchers and stuff, right? Well, you don't lose it, but it's much harder to get. But anyway, yeah. I guess of course if you're in high school right now, then yeah, I don't know. Do you have an idea of what you want to do, or while I can't remember what this guy was talking about. Here we go. Excuse me. Sorry, my throat's really. Oh wait, no, I have tea right here. Let's just drink this. Drink this in my mugris. Yeah. Oh, this is tough. Try out. Sorry, I just recently bought this mug and it's got like, it's a little. I don't have my my overhead camera right now, so I can't really show anyone, or I can't really show you. But it's this mug with horns on it, and it's funny because when you try to drink out of it, the horns like stab into your eyebrows. Actually, it's fine. It's fine. It doesn't. If you tried to bottom out the cup, it probably would. But anyway. Yeah. So I was just curious if you had what you were thinking of in terms of, or even just hobbies, right? Yeah. Let's see. What do you think? Oh. Man, those weird teeth. Really? Okay. Yeah, sorry. Actually, I guess I can show you because I know other people have gotten this. Let's see. This this is the product page of the thing that I have. Does that? Oh, did that comment go through? Do you see the geekjack.net link? Yeah. Anyway, it's that mug, but you can see it's got like horns on it. And anyway, yeah. What a weeb, right? What a weeb. But it arrived recently, so I'm using it. Yeah. Oh, wrong page. There we go. Oh shit! Sorry, I just remembered. What time's? Oh yeah, there's still time. Okay, cool. I forgot to charge the batteries on my e-bike. Well, let me get that started. Ow, ow. So much stuff to do. So much stuff to do. Not a Yoshi. Yeah, shit, I was gonna be stuck. Yeah, I was like, yeah, if I didn't charge that, I wouldn't have enough power to get to school. Uh, let's see. Not trying to do something interested in like stressing about cost. Well, so first of all, you shouldn't, take my word, but to, maybe add I'll add one. I'll add one, or I'll vouch for community college if you don't know what to do, and you're strapped on cash. At least your family is, or whatever. Then community college definitely will. You're going to be paying like an order of magnitude less, for at least 2 years, right? You're still going to have to get a bachelor's. You're still going to have to transfer to a 4-year university and finish your finish 2 years of upper division work to be able to get a degree, right? But at the very least, it's 2 years is much cheaper than 4, right? So, and also while you're in community college, you could also work on the side. That's what I did. That's a little bit of a lie. To be more accurate, I was at community college, and after I finished some amount of coursework, I applied for some like teacher's assistant jobs, and so I worked on campus. So it's like VTubers. Well, if you like VTubers, then yeah, I don't know how much of a what do you call it, a career you can make that. I do wonder where the industry is going, especially in Japan. VTubers are, I think at this point it's very likely VTubers will be just kind of treated in the same way that like, and like it's the same way like just like talent agencies treat their talent. It's kind of the same thing where corporate VTubers are going, right? So they'll show up on like variety programs and so on and so forth, and probably most of their, I wonder where the most of the money would be going. Yeah, I wonder. But at least overseas, it's still very questionable where VTubers are going, I think. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that's approachable as a career. In terms of answering your question, did I know what I wanted to do right from the start? Yes and no. So I suppose, yeah, I can talk about this. It's okay. I'm already a week behind. It doesn't matter if I add a day to that. So did you watch Sword Art Online? I guess is the question where it all starts. I was really into Sword Art Online and I won't say when because that's kind of indirectly doxing me, but anyway, I was really into Sword Art Online. So I was really, so I was very interested in, brain computer interfaces and so on and so forth. And, so I wanted to go into, neuroscience. So out of high school, I applied to, the neuroscience programs at several at universities. I didn't really get into anywhere though. I mean, I guess did I get into anywhere? I think I'm pretty sure I didn't get into anywhere. I don't quite remember at this point. I just remember I didn't get into the places I actually wanted to go to. I think I didn't get into anywhere that I wanted to go to. I don't even remember if I got accepted anywhere at all. So at that point, I was like, well, I can't go anywhere, so I might as well, go to community college. So I spent some time at community college, a little bit longer than most people, if I'm being really honest. Yeah. Has SAO aged? Well, no. Like, but but like, the black swordsman dual wielding. Come on, if you were like if you were in like middle school or high school when SAO came out, you did freaking Starburst stream in the at recess too. Although if I'm being really honest, I actually started. I was reading the Sword Art Online fan translations on Bakatsuki at the time. Man, talk about ages ago, right? So if that's something to date myself a little bit, but so then, the question becomes, well, then in community college, did I take all the coursework related to like something that would lead to neuroscience? Honestly, no. And then this is where I mentioned before, I think the main benefit of community college is it's they're not going to hassle you too much about, finishing all your stuff. It's really your own pace, right? That's, I think, the main benefit of community college. So, I mean, if to give an example of the kind of coursework I completed at community college, I guess I can. I'm gonna pull up my transcript right now, and this is kind of more to vouch for the kind of exploration you can do at community college. Let's see if I can access this. Sorry. Okay. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So physics, bio, math, computer science, chemistry, um, history, English, whatever, Japanese, engineering, government, whatever, that's a general ed. That's more piano, statistics, that's another math one. Organic chemistry, that's another programming. Linguistics, that's a different one. There's anatomy, that's another Japanese one. Educational psychology, drafting and basic design. That's an architecture class. Intro to welding, undergrad research in chemistry, introduction to robotics, basic electrocardiography. That's a nursing course, and machining. So, which, oh wait, sorry, no, that's half of that's half of the column. Or wait, no, that's right. That should be everything that transferred. And then there's there's some other amount of coursework that didn't transfer over that I could probably pull up, but to just kind of give an idea, try to go to a community college that has a lot of offerings. It gives you the opportunity to explore. And you can tell that even though my interest is in neuroscience, you can tell that a lot of my coursework didn't really have anything to do with bio. Because, again, I wasn't really sure. Am I even sure now? No. I'm a physics major, right? I stated that in the beginning. I'm a physics major. Why, but, so then why am I in physics? Well, actually, no. So I guess that's just to say, so to answer the question explicitly, I don't really know what track I'm on. I'm trying to bring it, I'm just trying whatever I can that seems optimal at the time, and just kind of trying to figure out how to bring it towards neuroscience in a way that's interesting to me, as I go. The reality is, people, you don't need to, makes a lot of things easier. You don't need, there's no, the unfortunate reality, I guess is the best way to phrase it. The unfortunate reality is that there is no clear track for any of these things, right? You can get a degree in, and when I applied to transfer out of community college to a 4-year, I had the option between a neuroscience course or a neuroscience program at UC Riverside, and then I'll just say the university names at this point. So I had the opportunity of doing the UC Riverside neuroscience program, the non-humanities one, like the STEMmy one, and then because they have two. Actually, I had the option to do both, but I got accepted to both. Or I can't remember what the order was, but anyway. And then the only other place that accepted me is UC Berkeley for physics. So technically, if I wanted a more direct route, I probably should have gone to Riverside. But I figured if I came here instead, there would be, Berkeley is a fairly well-known university, and essentially there's a lot of good research that gets done here. So I was kind of looking at those two, since those were the only two places I got accepted, and I said, what also, am I echoing? What am I echoing against? Okay, anyway. I kind of asked myself which program would give me the best, like, um, the best, or the, which do I think has the more, has more, honestly interesting opportunities. And to me, that was like the physics program here, because it's, well, it's a more established university, and it's the original University of California, right before they started adding more. So it's got, there's a lot of good researchers. I mean, I guess, not saying that the other universities have bad researchers, but it's got the let's just say, there are multiple people that can vouch for the faculty, right? So that's why I chose here. And then, I was like, well, as for how to bring it back, or how to turn that into a career in neuroscience, well, that's something I'll figure out as I go. But again, and this is something that I've kind of verified as I've attended, this university for 2 years now. What you realize is that very few people take a direct route to, or not very few, but there's, there's, if you were to ask if non-direct routes were rare, it's like, it's not rare at all. Like I took a neuroscience course here because, we had for a requirement, or for some other requirement, but the teacher, or the graduate student instructor, so like the TA essentially for that class, was a physics undergrad, did biophysics for her master's, and then was in a PhD program for neuroscience. That's why she was teaching, or that's why she was an assistant in the neuroscience class. So you can see how, so her route is essentially the ideal route for me. So I'm not going to copy it, exactly right. I'm not going to apply for biophysics just because someone else has done that before. But there are very many people, like the colleagues that I work with. One is just a pure physics guy. The other one is a mechanical engineer that has some research in biophysics, obviously engineering, doing some, I can't remember, some kind of, what's it? One was doing, for biophysics, of some kind of simulation of like a self-propelled particle or something, and the other one was, I can't quite remember. But and then they're in a physics program now for, I'm not quite sure what he's doing, but he's in like optical, or like AMO physics now. So a little bit different from his original, engineering, roots, right? And one of my colleagues is also a similar situation where, actually, no, I think he was physics all the way through, but one of his friends is also an electrical engineer that went into physics. And, it's not rare at all to kind of shift direction going from undergrad to graduate school. And likewise, going from high school to undergrad, it's not rare for people to declare a major and then just switch. My father was the same way, where he had, let's see, how did it go? I guess he was accepted for physics and then switched to electrical engineering / computer science. And then he's an attorney right now. So after he got his degree, he went into law, which is also a, not a rare career path. So, sorry, I've kind of rambled a bit long, but just to say, I think it's okay to stress, but different things in different ways. Oh, yeah. Sorry. It's just to say, I've basically, I don't know, if you want, you can go to the Berkeley subreddit to see what I'm talking about. But there are so many people that are like, oh no. And so, sorry. So Berkeley right now, the big thing is computer science, right? Computer science and business consulting. Those are the cool things, right? And so you hear people are like, "Oh no, I'm computer science. I'm a sophomore. I've only been here 2 years, or I've already been here for 2 years, and I don't have a 5-figure internship at one of the big computer, like I don't have an internship at Google or Meta or Amazon." And it's like, guys, chill out. like your entire your life isn't going. You're not gonna fail. You're not going to be a permanent failure just because you didn't get an internship in your second year of university or something like that, right? Like, it's like, come on, calm down. Now, there are a lot of smart people that do get these things, right? The reality is that there's a lot of, there are a lot of connections between, Silicon Valley and this university, just A, by proximity, and B, just historically, right? So, it is probably statistically a little bit easier to get an internship if you're in California or near Silicon Valley. So places like this university. But like, calm down. It's like, like the yeah. So I mean, not I guess calm down, or like, I think it's good to stress about it, or maybe not stress about it, but it's good to worry about it, right? You don't want to just totally be relaxed and be like, oh yeah, it'll work out. Like, people say like, oh, it'll work out, or like, oh, people will understand when they're older or some shit like that. And it's like, dumbasses. No, it doesn't work like that, right? The reality is we make it work out, right? Like, if you don't put the effort into getting it to work out, then yeah, it won't work out, And sometimes even if you put in all your effort, it still doesn't work out. But the only times it does work out is when people put effort into it, right? So, and not to get all lectury, but so I think if you're worried about, well, I guess you said you were worried about cost. I would, talk to your parents about that for sure, if they can somehow help out a little bit. If not, then yeah, community college does make it a lot more affordable. I don't think it's going to be a little hard to offset all of your costs just by working. But, the idea with loans, right, is you want to take as little as you can so that your interest payments don't add up. So if cost is really an issue, and the career path you want to take really does require you to go to like a university, then yeah. I think community college is definitely a way to reduce that cost. And then again, likewise, when you're choosing a major and stuff, if you have a couple choices, it's like you're not contractually bound to your, most of the time you're not, right? Like, if you declare a major, I think from what I understand, most places will be like, okay, we'll accept you, for that major, or maybe like for the UC system, for example, most places they accept you or when you apply, you do mention a major, but if they accept you, you just enter as like undeclared most of the time, and then you choose. So for them, it's more convenient if you do choose the major that you stated eventually, because it keeps their numbers fairly consistent, right? Like, if everyone starts switching to computer science, and all the other departments don't have any students, then, the school's going to be in a lot of trouble, right? So it's more convenient for them, but, it's not like their jobs depend on it, right? Or, in a one-to-one sense, right? Like, eventually it could if it kept happening, but, if someone's like, yeah, I really don't like physics, and I kind of want to, but I took a class in East Asian studies, and I was just really, like, if someone said that, then I'm sure the departments would be like, okay, yeah, we'll figure out how to, or, we need to figure out how to make sure you graduate on time. Like, that's their job, right? The advisors, their job is to make sure people graduate. As long as people do that, then, they're good, right? I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily true, but that's their main job. They, So I wouldn't worry too much about knowing precisely what field you want to go into. Of course, if it would be better, of course, if you get it right the first time. But, if you take a field that's a little bit unrelated, yeah, so what? Okay, it might take you might need to do some extra work here and there to kind of get to the field that you want to eventually go for. I don't know. But, just, give it your best shot, and, yeah. I guess the point is to say that, at least from what I've experienced so far, if you really, or if the person really wants to do it, then there are a lot of mechanisms in place to help you. Now, that's not a guarantee, right? But But I think everyone realizes that, it's impractical to know what you're going to want to do 10 years into the future. If I could figure out what I was wanted to do 10 years in the future, I would invest in the stock market, like that's what I would do. If I could see 10 years into the future, I would have invested in Bitcoin. That's what I would have done. I don't think it's wisdom so much as it's something that I think is maybe a little bit like poorly conveyed. People say, "Oh, do what you want to do." I don't think that's really necessarily good advice. But I think it's that, it's people, I think, kind of just need to understand that, well, life sucks, to be really upfront. Life sucks, but it's not, but that's why, but life sucks, and or has sucked, and it will suck. And that's why, people put in effort. The people that are your advisors, your professors, and the people in administration, they all went through this shit too, right? Like there's probably plenty of professors or current professors who were taught by people who weren't able to, switch their degree, people who were kind of stuck in their field and they had to just, do it and just get a degree and go into a field that they didn't like because there was no other option. So, and those people are probably all retired professors now. So what they made sure to do, right, is to make sure that the people they taught, so the people that currently are teaching people like you, is make sure that the people they teach, the people, their subordinates and such, do get the chance to switch, careers and make sure they find something that they really want to do, or they're something that they're happy with, I guess, right? And in turn, those people that are now teaching you are trying to, try to pass on that same, that same thing. So it's all iterative, right? And it's not perfect. That's the real. Like if it were all perfect, then I think there's a lot of social problems that would have been resolved by now. But that's the thing. People are just trying to iteratively try to improve. And one of the things that I think has improved is that ability to kind of switch careers if your current place really isn't where you want to be. I think basically what I'm saying is that I think there's been enough iterations of this process that there are now systems in place to help you. Of course, it can't guarantee anything. That's a given, right? If it were that perfect, then again, there would be a lot of other social problems that would have been resolved by now. But if you're trying, then there's a good chance that there's someone that's willing to help. So yeah, so naturally, I I can't really comment on what you should do. If you eventually develop a very clear idea, and it does, remember, you don't necessarily need to go to university, right? If you want to go into like plumbing or welding, or machining, or like HVAC. If you wanted to do like HVAC work, I think you might need a degree. But anyway, but trades work, and you really enjoy that stuff. So I mentioned I took a machining class. There was one really smart guy. He'd make his own motorcycle. So every once in a while, you'd see like his parts like in like the parking lot. Like it was so cool. I wish I could do stuff like that. But that guy, right? Like he doesn't need to go to university. He's already way more qualified as for in terms of like welding as like most people. He's also taking machining too. So I think from what I understand, he also part-time worked at a machine shop somewhere that was like working on some hardware for I believe JPL. Oh, my session's about to expire. So like, yeah, and he doesn't like, who cares if he doesn't have a degree? The question is, can he build, the parts to the tolerance that JPL needs? He can? Okay, well then clearly he's qualified, right? Doesn't need to spend $40,000 to $160,000 on a degree, right? He's already plenty qualified, so you don't need to go to university. But if you do, then obviously going directly, or if you do, and you have at least a good idea of at least initially what you want to do, then yeah, going directly to a 4-year makes sense. If you can't afford it, or you're not quite sure, going to community college to kind of explore is also very good. And again, even if at the end of all that you get your degree and you're like, I have a degree in, I don't know, like, what is a good example? I don't know. I have a degree in like say like music theory or something, and it's like I don't want to do work in music or something. Then again, there are okay, music theory might be a tough one, but I think music theory, for example, requires a lot of math work. So you could use that as a springboard and say, okay, I've already have some math background. If I take some, say, uh, electrical engineering courses, I can maybe pivot to a different career, or like maybe yeah, like me, I'm sure you could go from a music theory background maybe to, and if you have that math background, you could probably go into applied math of some kind, I'm going to say I'm sure because I don't know, but you kind of see where I'm getting at. So it might require some extra work here and there, but I think, at least as far as I've met people, everyone understands that you're not going to know what you're going to do. So their understanding of that is, I guess, what I should say. Yeah, yeah. So yeah. Obviously, this is just obviously you have to qualify everything I'm saying with I don't know, but this is the impression that I've gotten from what I've experienced, and then what my people I work with have been through, right? So, and then also what my professors and what my PI have kind of said. This is the impression that I get. Yeah, yeah. But again, you're in high school right now, right? So you've got time to explore a bit more, and yeah. I mean, the main thing, right, is as long as you just don't totally give up. I don't know if I should say this, but my brother is a shut-in, so I think he's a good example of people that have totally given up, and it's very difficult. It's very difficult. There's actually, I think, what did I talk it to? I remember there was an anime. I think it's Jakukyara Tomo. Was it Tomozaki? Jakukyara Jakukyara Tomozaki-kun. Yeah, this show. I remember talking to someone in stream about this show. You guys probably can't see it, but basically it's a game like nerd. He's not a shut-in, but it's a story about how a game nerd basically tries to get popular. And I remember, talking to someone about this show and saying there's one and there's a lot of criticism, or at least I saw at least there are a lot of criticism for the first episode of the show, because people were saying this guy is, super socially, awkward, and he's like, a nerd, and like this show is super unrealistic because, how could he just, suddenly, if it were that easy to just take advice about how to get popular and implement it, then none of us would have, it would never be a problem. And I remember looking at these discussions and thinking, well, but that's and thinking, these people don't really understand the clear difference. The reason why that the main character in that show is able to become popular is, I think, really really is able to change himself, is because he clearly likes something, right? He has clear like direction in his life. Now that direction is being the best at this video game, but he has clear interest and drive and motivation and stuff, right? Even if it's mainly towards that video game. So kind of converting that into the drive to for self-improvement, at least socially, is of course he's able to do it, because those kind of behaviors and those emotions and stuff inherently exist. But that's, if that's not the case, then it's very hard to get to figure out where to even get started. So as long as as long as you try, then there are people willing to help, is the TLDR. Yeah. Fuck, I should have made some ice cubes. Ow. Okay. Yeah, I think I've said, I think I've talked long enough. I should actually get started. This is the problem. This is the problem. Actually, I shouldn't skip this part. Yeah, yeah, no worries. I shouldn't have gone on that long of tangents. It's my own fault. But yeah. Um, yeah. Oh, for the record, you don't have to feel bad about distracting me because I've mentioned this before. But the reason why, I don't think I mentioned it this time, but the reason why I study on stream is because if I don't stream, then I'll just be sitting here just looking at the screen at this lecture recording and just like not focusing. So I've timed myself. It's always I always get more done when I stream and study compared to not because I actually get stuff done. So I can go on a 1 hour tangent, but I'll still get more stuff done. So you don't have to feel bad. Just as a heads up, yeah. It's like it's actually hilarious. It's at least I get at least 2 times more stuff done, if not more. It's usually more like 4 or 5 times. And this is after going on like 1 hour tangents. So yeah. It's it's kind of the way I've found to make sure I actually get stuff done. Excuse me. Sounds sleepy. If I'm being really honest, yeah, I don't know. It's the past week was just so much work. Actually, so the hilarious thing is, I don't know. I am sleepy, but I like slept through like all of like or like half of yesterday and basically all of today until before I started streaming. Last stream earlier today, which was already at like 6 in the evening. Um, yeah, it was a really busy week. And I mentioned it earlier, but helping my dad pull out the dishwasher was a lot of extra work that like yeah, so it's like, did I really need to do that when I went home this time? I don't think so. uh but I mean, I was already there, so I was like, fine, I'll help with that as well. But yeah, right, anyway. I mean, I don't want to drink coffee though, because I do plan to sleep, tonight. But yeah. Yeah. But it's not helping that this video keeps crashing. 3 minutes 48. Share something? Yeah, go for it. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but or to you before, but um, my chat is in general, anything goes as long as it's reasonable. Or actually, that's the really only rule I put in. As long as it's reasonable, I really don't care. People ask like, oh, are we allowed to talk about other streamers or politics or whatever? And it's like, I mean, honestly, as long as it's reasonable, I really don't care. Like, I'm not that political, or honestly, I don't really pay attention to politics, but if something relevant happens, I'd rather be informed than not, so. So TLDR, feel free. Yeah. This best results so far. Generate AI art. How does that work? There's only like, wait, let me see. Page not found. Is it supposed to be novelai.net? Yeah, I got a page not found. How does that work? Interesting. Yeah, sorry, I get, or it's blurred out, but basically it says page not found in the middle. What is this website? Back to landing page. Okay. Oh, and it's got, oh, okay, I was wondering what, like, but there's image generation too. Okay, I see. Okay. Twitter, okay. Yeah. I guess there's a lot of people that are commenting on, AI generated art these days, right? Um, Holy shit, that comes out really good, doesn't it? It missed the highlights though, but holy shit, yeah. How do you do that? Do you just write text and then it does that? Wow. Like what is what? Also, okay, I swear I hear an echo. What is resonating with my voice? Yeah, but like, how does that, like, there's obviously some differences, but like, wow, holy shit. Where does all the effort that I put into drawing this by hand? You can find VODs of me drawing this model on YouTube in my archives. It's like, where does all of that effort go, really, right? But wow, wow. So sorry. Is the model already made? Like, it's already been trained on a like a massive data set already, or do you have to provide like Oh, I see. So you okay, so there is an image generation model that's already been pre-trained, and the generation happens through the prompt or something. I see. I see. Okay, wow, that is amazing. I mean, I could learn a thing or two from this AI, right? Like, I really like how the like the what do you call it, the bright parts of the hair is done. I was never able to figure out how to do that nicely. Like, so you can tell the kind of the halo-ish thing that goes around your like forehead and stuff. On my model is like really really like bad to be honest. So man, I could learn a thing or two from this AI, couldn't I? And I like how it has this like blur kind of, so you focus on the face. Wow. And like the ears are really well done too. Wow. That's amazing. Too lazy to train my own. I mean, no, I understand. I no, I get it, man. I was trying to I don't know if you know what Tacotron 2 is. It's a dialogue generation AI that there's a few there's a few versions that'll run on like NVIDIA cards using CUDA, right? So and I remember I was just trying to get Tacotron 2 running on my computer, and it was so damn hard to train it. I wanted to train it on my own data set, right? And I was like, it takes so long to make the data set for it. So no, I get it. It's difficult, right? Because why is Twitter, why is the web browser Twitter spazzing out? Stop. Jeez. Calm down. Calm down. Jeez. I think the wow. Anyway, tool for shading. Yeah. Like I've been is there? I just wish there was a local version, you know, and I wish I could just train it on data sets of my own, right? Because I feel like that. I don't know if that's really the issue right now, but for me, I'd be very like I wanna train it, but I also want to train it on data sets that I actually have authorization to use, right? So, but it's just such a pain to tag every single damn picture. Photoshop title. On your profile banner. Ah. Oh yeah, so yeah, that's what I was thinking. So you can prompt it with like for just like scenery, right? So I was thinking that. I was like, holy shit. Like I should totally just use this for scenery and then, just draw my character on top of it or something, right? Like, yeah, yeah. Yeah. How do you cite that in that case, though, if it's generated by AI? I mean, I guess if you cite the model, then that should indirectly cite all the people used to train the model, right? Assuming that the model is, or do you have to cite the data set? I mean, personally, I guess I would probably try to cite the dataset and the model, right? Because the model doesn't necessarily store any information about the training data. So I guess in terms of how to properly cite that, I guess you'd have to cite the dataset and the model, or the source of the model or something. I don't know. Yeah, that's one issue I have, or that's one thing I've been a little bit hesitant, or I haven't had the chance to look into with this like, I guess it's not GPT-3, right? It's what is it called? What is it called? Is Stable Diffusion? I think that's what it's called, right? Like Stable Diffusion based work. Yeah. Head ear things and halos. Really? Wow. I mean, it. I guess it works really well, right? I mean, it came out really good, I think. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because if I'm being really honest, what I'd ideally want to do eventually is like dump all of my art into a data set, right? And then have it train off of me, right? Because then there's no issue about citations at all. I am the citation. Well, you still have to cite yourself, but none, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I'll have to look into it. But that came out really well. Yeah, nice, nice. Yeah, but I guess a lot of people are commenting about AI artwork right now, right? Ah, oh, fuck, the video crashed again. So all these lecture notes are uploaded on Box, and it's really annoying because the video keeps crashing. Oh, it's on Waifu Diffusion. Okay, I've heard about this library. Okay. Um, I think this already has the model train though, right? Okay, awesome. Here's the GitHub link. Nice. Oh, it's through Dumbledore. Okay, that's tough. Oh no, I got the links. Thanks. I was able to see them. Hmm? Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do I do hope they've kind of figured out a way to standardize citations. Um, Too lazy said it. I don't. Again, I don't blame you, man. I it's again I've tried to set up such like what do you call it, machine learning applications on my own computer before too, and I don't know what's wrong. It's like it's always like, oh, some dependency somewhere broke, or I remember I was trying to get Elastic Fusion, which is actually has nothing to do with machine learning. It's a point cloud. It's a point cloud. What do you call it? Or it's a depth sensor to point cloud like conversion software. And I remember there was one dependency that would just keep breaking, and I was like, "Oh, damn!" So, yeah, so now I get it. I get it. It's yeah, cool art. Yeah, yeah, go for it. Go for it. Yeah, yeah. That is amazing though, to just able to generate that. How did you specify the hairstyle, if it's okay to ask? He even does Gundam. Nice. Oh, you know what? I wanted to do a cover of Senkel, by Alexandros. Um, I guess it could do like the robot. If I wanted, but I wanted like a static picture with like a robot in the background. I guess it could do that, couldn't you? Or I don't know. Is this AI or is it not? Is it just the hairstyle? Oh, I see. So it was smart enough to know that hairstyle. Sorry, what term did you actually use though? Dead anime mom. I mean, I might even just take the jacket design from this art. If I'm being really honest, the jacket looks pretty cool. Yeah. Ah, just in time for Halloween. Oh, and you mentioned that it failed the highlights for some reason. I wonder why. Maybe not a lot of characters have highlights or something. Yeah, but this one's just a night. Yeah, yeah, it is what it is. Um, but yeah, yeah, this second one that you linked, that's just in time for Halloween, isn't it? That's cool. Yeah, cool. Yeah, man, I'd like to try to play around with it at some point. Yeah, I wonder. Ah, I see. You can also input. Okay, okay. Well, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, sorry I don't have a full sorry. The only existing art for this model is this upper body like static thing. That's like all the art that exists for this model, except for one. Someone was kind enough to commission fan art of me, so there's actually two pieces of art of my character in existence. So probably a little hard. Yeah, sorry. If I had originally drawn this as a full body thing, maybe it would have had more information to work off of. Yeah. I mean, I was able to kind of make up a jacket though. that's pretty cool. Yeah, yeah, that sounds like fun. It sounds like fun. Yeah, I'd like to try that at some point. Yeah. No talking. No, like, GIFs or anything. Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. It's really amazing how well it came out. Sorry, what does seed mean in this context? Like, oh, you said nothing. Okay, hold on. Oh, that's really, oh, really. So, and I guess that changed the. Interesting. Add open. Oh, okay. So it remembers, or you can make it remember what it generated. Although I see it kind of interesting. Minecraft seed is. I thought so. From what I understand with Minecraft, the seed is used for the what do you call it? Well, it's used as the random value for from which the procedural generation of the terrain is, or yeah, or I guess of the whole world is done, right? So in this case, is a seed a? I'm just trying to figure out what information the seed contains. Is it just the is it maybe the image that it generated plus the tags used to generate it? Because if I had to guess, if you gave the same prompt, it should this model shouldn't necessarily generate the same image every time, right? So so I'm trying to figure out what other information or I'm just trying to figure out what information the seed would contain, but um oh, interesting. Oh, and the style of the eyes changed a little too. Oh, okay. Okay. I also see that the jacket is slowly changing color, which is kind of interesting. Oh, and the black, what? So I thought this black thing was an undershirt, but it only sometimes generates that. I wonder why. Black magic stuff. Yeah. Well, see, this is really the answer is I should just look at the damn documentation for waifu diffusion or whatever, right? Yeah. Well, the thing is, I think there was a paper linked in one of those things, one of the or I think on the GitHub, or no, that was just a citation. But there's some documentation, and you have access to the full model or so, um, or to the whole model. So I'm assuming there's probably some documentation about how the seed is, or what data the seed contains. I wonder where you could find that. So the seed would be relevant in in whatever function generates the image. So I guess we just go into main first and then just look for that, right? Um, just look for whatever function handles generating the file at the end, and then just go through every function that it references and see how it treats the seed. Oh fuck, I don't know any of this. I didn't take that much programming. I don't fucking know. I guess I can just control F the word seed. Um, there's a seed everything function. I think that's a function. I don't know enough to really look through this, but yeah. But yeah, cool. Huh. And the second image actually even, well, I don't know, did it do it? I'm just really impressed because, like, you look at the shading here, and they even do stuff that stuff like the um sorry if it's okay to bring this here, and it's blurred, but I mean, you have the original image, so um like even the simple stuff like how the hair behind the neck is like it like transitions to like a blue, like, so I didn't do that on my model, but that was one thing I considered doing. And they talk about how you want to do this to kind of add well, a depth to the hair, but then also depending on using a warmer or cooler color, you can get different kind of impressions of the character. And it's like it's smart, it's learned enough that it knew to do that. It's like it's just amazing. Oh yeah. uh yeah. Yeah, yeah, AI or machine learning is amazing. Yeah. Nice guy. Is this based on is it still using my model as input? Actually, do you want a higher quality image of of my of my model? Would that help? Yeah. Okay. I mean, actually, wait. Sorry. Was that yes to wanting it or yes to using it as a reference? If you want, I forgot. Sorry. Are you in the Discord or how do I guess wait. No, I can just send you the image as a file, couldn't I? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how you're retrieving the or I don't know how you know what image you currently have, but um I have the wait, no, I already downloaded it. I have the actual asset like on screen right now. I have a static PNG, right? So I can give you that if that helps. Yeah, on the Discord. Yeah, no worries. I'll just send it through Discord. Let me just make sure this is the right image. Yes. Is it okay with PNGs? Hopefully that. Yeah. I mean, I don't blame you. I'm in like six Discords for school, and it's like, why do I need six Discords for all my classes? Yeah, yeah. I don't know if that'll help it generate it, but we'll see. It's not web. WebM is good for some stuff. WebM is good for some stuff. Not a lot of things, but some things. Yeah, but yeah, wow, Enud. Yeah, that's impressive. Although I see it keeps interpreting the eyes as, well, I guess no, you said yellow eyes, didn't you? I'm just wondering if it can also pull off the what do you call it? Yeah, oh wait, no, I guess you're specifying yellow eyes, and that's why it's doing that. I was just wondering if it could maybe do the transition between like orange and like yellow, or I guess, well, it's not really orange. I don't know what color to call the top half of the eyes that I drew. But yeah, man, I should try playing around with it at some point. Yeah. Preferably after I finish studying, of course, but try to keep myself on track. I'm just so tired. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just so tired. I'm having a hard time focusing, just in general. Yeah. Although I guess these days people are using like, or I guess. So from what I understand, I guess VTubers are making separate tags for AI art versus hand drawn art. I mean, I don't have any art tags, period, so it kind of doesn't matter to me, but yeah. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I wonder, yeah. I wish the model wasn't trained, or well, I guess really the solution is if I'm not worried about, oh, like I want to use this software, but I don't want to mistakenly like I don't want to get in any like any trouble in the future. I guess really then what I should do is I should just draw a fuck ton and then uh, make my own model, right? AI code helper. Is that like I know GitHub has something like that, right? What's it called? Copilot, right? Like GitHub Copilot. Is that right? I've never tried it before, but I heard it was decent. I mean, maybe you can comment on that more, but um, yeah. I'm going to be honest. I haven't done any programming in a while. There's things I want to try though. Like like I know for like voice synthesis, there's a lot of stuff regarding like style transfer. Like I know the big work in like voice synthesis right now is like you want to be able to like I mean whatever the input is, you want to be able to replicate things like the speaking mannerisms and stuff. And I was like, is there not just like an AI that just takes your voice and then like intelligently like raises the pitch or lowers the pitch or something? Like I feel like this is it really dumbs it down, right? But like just keep the mannerisms and stuff the same and like the style of speaking the same and just like raise it or lower it in pitch in a smart way that doesn't sound like a robot. Like is there no AI for that? Is that too much to ask for? uh it shades what. Yeah, no, I'm gonna say every single generated like picture here or generated illustration here is like way better than what I can do, right? So it's like I got tons to learn. I've been trying to watch more of Saito Naoki Sensei's tutorials, but he makes it sound so he doesn't make it sound easy, but he makes it sound doable, and it's like damn, it's like 5 times less doable than what you say. His videos are very fun though. I'm glad that a lot of them are translated. Sometimes there's terms in there that I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. I guess the power of tensor cores and all that AI learning is the power of tensor cores and matrix multiplication and all that jazz. Or I guess no. Yeah, yeah, tensor cores, yeah. Fancy matrix multiplication hardware. Uh I think the two things that you pick up on there are that I think I'm gonna pick up on two things that you mentioned specifically. A, you're not selling it, and B, you're not claiming it's yours. I think those are the two key details to there not being really an issue with, or if key issue with AI. As long as those are clearly conveyed, right? Because I mean, like otherwise, I think it becomes kind of impossible to practice art, right? I mean, art. They say that art is like a lot of it's mimicry, right? Like there are very few artists that don't develop upon their predecessors, right? A lot of art or most art develops on the findings and the work of predecessors. So to not be able to use that information is would I mean I think art would stagnate very quickly. Um, so yeah, yeah, and in always the situation is that if you do copy off someone for reference, right, you just say that you did. For regular art, that's totally fine. That's how it works. I mean, taking it out of the art field, that's how it works in like science, right? There are very few sciences not founded on anyone else. So all you do is you cite their paper and you say, you know, our work builds upon so and so et al. So on, so on and so forth, right? Yeah, like it's NFT. Actually, I was talking to my dad about this, but like with like blockchain. But I was like, I can see why blockchain would be useful. I just don't understand why anyone uses that as an investment tool though. like blockchain sounds great for like a fault tolerant, or like I guess like a like a decentralized, so like, so relatively fault tolerant in terms of hardware fault, right? Like it's a fault tolerant distributed system for facilitating like the transfer of something, right? So it's like it's like, so I get that as like that's like that. So blockchain sounds great. Like I remember there was one county somewhere, I can't remember, that said, that we're going to use blockchain to facilitate the like balancing the power grid. The idea is that, generating solar energy would be the work that's used to generate some crypto coin. So your solar crypto, whatever, was just a way of keeping track of how much power you've added to the grid. And whenever you need power back from the grid, you pay the grid in that solar crypto thing, and then so you can keep track of how much you've generated versus taken from the grid and stuff. And it's like, and all of that's automated as long as the work mechanism is based on, like generating solar. It's like, so that automates balancing the grid, or like, keeping track of how much money or energy is fed in and out of the grid. And it's distributed. So if the server at the at the local power plant that, or whatever, if the grid at the, or if the server at the city goes down, it doesn't matter because everyone else has a local node that keeps track of or that facilitates the transactions. So it's like, it's a great, so like I was like, that sounds great. That sounds great, a great use of blockchain. What is all of this investment crap that I'm seeing though? Like, I don't care if Ethereum goes up by like, $100 or something, or like, I don't care if Bitcoin goes down by 10,000. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, but stuff like, like using it for like, grid power balancing and stuff, like, that's cool. That makes sense. Like, oh wow, this came out really good too. I like it added a hair tie. I like that. Or I don't know if it added it or if you added it, but um is this reminds me of someone. Is this based on a VTuber, or maybe, or a character? I like how it's got like a little fish. It's like a little fish in space. That's cool. Huh. It's not based on anyone? Huh. I mean, I guess it looks familiar because it's trained off of, it's trained on data that I've probably seen, right? Like, so it probably looks familiar in the sense that, there's a lot of anime characters look pretty similar, to be honest, right? So it probably seems familiar because of that. But yeah, I wonder if, and I think this is where the cool thing would be, right? Like, get the AI and train it on stuff like images of space, like outer space, and then get the AI and train it on the images of like the Earth or something, and then you could like combine them together, and you could get you could probably get really good pictures of like, or really good like you could probably like collage together pretty good scenes and stuff, right? So, space fish. Yeah, this came out great. Yeah, space fish. That's a very straightforward name actually, but space fish girl. No, this came out great. And you know what I really like is that it added like a sailor uniform ish thing, right? Which I assume is just purely because it's like sea related, and it's like it made the connection between like fish and the sea, and then sailor uniforms, right? I guess it made a connection between like the sea and like girl, and then was like, okay, if there's sea and girl, it probably is a sailor uniform or something, right? Like that. I really like that it did that. Yeah. Yeah, like it learned. Exactly, it learned. I guess it's just such a, I guess it's a trope at this point. If it trained off of, I don't know if it trained off of Kantai collection or Strike Witches or what, but like or Azur Lane. I don't know if it trained off of, Kantai collection or Azur Lane or whatever, but yeah. Mm. Oh, it even changed the, what do you call it? The hairstyle. Oh yeah, yeah, no worries. Oh, it even changed the hair tie. I didn't actually play as Zerlane, but I really liked the which song was it? One of the songs. Yeah. Wow. I can't really get it though. Yeah. Wow. So sorry, what platform are you using for this? Are you using that novel something AI website? I can't remember what it's called. Can't find the comment. It keeps doing that blur thing too, which is really interesting. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Does it seem like having the higher resolution picture helps it at all, or oh, you have to sign up, or maybe you don't. I don't know. Um, Pricing. Wait, do you have to pay? Really? I mean, I guess that makes sense, but well, then I hope they have. See, that's where I feel like it gets a little sketch, doesn't it? Because it's like, do they have, if they don't have permission from all of the people who were used to train the, or all the artists that were used to train the model, then charging money gets really sketchy, doesn't it? I mean, then again, I don't know what AI this uses in the back end to generate things, so maybe it's okay, but I hope they have that sorted out. Like, right, like I'm not gonna assume that there yeah. Oh right, I see. It's all gray. Yeah, and again, this is why I'm like, yeah, yeah. But I think it'd be very cool to like make a, maybe like a community or something where people are like, I'm going to, not for like generating art, but like, or I guess more like maybe like a an artist collective where everyone's willing to draw to train the model, right? Like to provide their art to train, and in exchange, everyone gets to reap the benefit of using the model or something, right? And then so maybe having like agreement, like user provides their portfolio in exchange for access or something. Yeah, no, I don't think you're necessarily in any trouble. I mean, I guess you could be if you, but you're not selling it, right? You're using it just for personal stuff. So I don't think you're necessarily in trouble. I just think this company, like, I hope this company, like, has a contract with everyone who's was used to train, like, all the artists that were used to train it, because otherwise, I think that gets really sketchy. Yeah, yeah, right, exactly. So I think you're clear. I just wonder about this company because they're charging money, right? They're taking money, so that yeah. Of course, they're not claiming that the art that was used to train the stuff is theirs, but they're selling a commercial product. So, and most art, if used in some commercial capacity, does require a specific license, right? Um, so that's why I'm thinking this website. I hope they have their all the legal stuff sorted out, because that could get kind of sketch. Yeah. Right, right, right. Yeah. Well, I mean, but this is the thing, right? Like, obviously, you can't prove that they stole anything, but like, but they're immediately like sketchy, right? You can't prove that they've stolen anything, but like realistically, did they steal it? Probably, right? If I'm gonna be honest, it's like I guess realistically, here's the issue. It's I think it will be problematic in terms of how each community is seen, because the Western anime community is very notorious, at least in Japan, or the non-Japanese anime community is notorious in Japan for piracy issues. Like in Japan, it's very often looked down on. Now I'm gonna be honest. overseas, there's very few ways to, or there used to be very few ways of accessing anime, so you had to pirate. But I mean, these days it's different. So yeah, but like so I've seen artists, Japanese artists like on Pixit, for example, that really dislike interacting with the Western community because they see, or just the overseas community, because they just see the entire community as a bunch of like pirates. Um, so and I do worry that this AI stuff could make that, worse. Which is, unfortunate because, at the end of the day, everyone is artists. We all like the same stuff. So it'd be nice if everyone could get along. But this is what I mean, right? This is why it's important to be very careful. So if this company is like, oh, we're gonna just, take advantage of several tens of thousands of artists' work and, profit off of it, then I'm sure at least on the Japanese side, people are gonna say, oh, it's these freaking foreigners again, stealing our art and making money off of it, so got scammed. Oh shit, seriously? That sucks. Jeez. I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think, like, I'm not an artist, right? I don't do it for profession. I did take art classes and such, but like even I have a, understanding, like as a, as an artist, there's some degree of, what do you call it? Responsibility you need to take, right? So, yeah. Same with Photoshop. Yeah, I don't blame you. I think although I will say Clip Studio Paint was a very, very good $50 investment for me. And it was this, they're switching to subscription soon, but when I purchased it, it was a one-time fee, and I'm like, $50 for all these features, fine. That's actually not that bad. But yeah, it's like Photoshop is like, oh, $10 a month for your entire life. Like, no, I don't have that much money. Do I look like I'm made of like, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't blame you. Actually, that's one good thing about going to community college, right? For our community college had an Adobe subscription. Yeah. Actually, wait, no, not sorry, not this university, not community college. Community college only had Office and an Autodesk subscription. But when I transferred, I got access to Adobe, so it's like, yeah, Photoshop and Premiere included in my fucking $10,000 tuition. That's depressing. Anyway, yeah, more like 25. It's 25 just for programs, right? And then if you want to subscribe to like, artists that upload like tutorials and stuff, then that's another $5-10 a month Patreon, right? And that's per artist. So yeah. No, I get it. Yeah. Oh wait, Photoshop is 25? I thought there was like a Photoshop pack that was 10. That's fucking rip off. I mean, it's not a rip off, but they're like, for example, I can see how Adobe sort of justifies it because, like, I mean, all things considered, with all the problems, the Adobe software is pretty well made. And as a reason, or as a comparison, I really like Clip Studio Paint. I have the Pro version, but let me say one thing: it's single threaded. What kind of art program is in 2022 is single threaded? Like literally, you like literally. I don't have it installed on here. You open up Clip Studio Paint, you're working, and you open up Task Manager, you look at it. Literally, only one single core is being used. Like, what is this? 2004? Like 2000? When was the first dual core processor? Exactly, because it uses more than one core. 2005 is when the first dual core x86 chips came out. So literally Clip Studio is like, in terms of like system resource usage, at least processor usage, is literally in 2005 right now. It's like, so can I really blame Adobe for taking money? Not really, right? Because at least they're keeping the software up to date. And Clip Studio does. It's just I would expect it to like use more than one core. Come on. Like, I've had so many of my Clip Studio projects like crash. Not necessarily because of the single core thing, but I don't know why. But I know one reason is because it's pegging one core at like full power. So anyway. Yeah. I think, and again, it's like, it's one of those things where like, it's just pay for it when you can, right? One warning. Do not pirate SolidWorks. If you have to pirate any software, just don't pirate SolidWorks. That's the one piece of software I just have to say 100% you should never pirate, because they actually go after you. Like not me personally, of course, because I've never pirated it, but I know like 3 people in person now that had to pay back SolidWorks, or had to pay back Dassault, because Dassault literally went after them. Like, so any software besides SolidWorks, I don't really think they realistically go after you, but SolidWorks will actually go after individuals. There are stories online where people have like used pirated SolidWorks versions for like 10 years and have to pay back like $10,000 and get like the enterprise license or some shit. It's not really spooky. It's just that, it's a real risk. It's just, it's not usually profitable for the or it's not usually worth a company's time to go after people. So they just let people pirate and just be like, okay, we'll put in some anti-piracy measures. No, Dassault legit goes after people. So just any software, just accept SolidWorks. Just don't pirate SolidWorks if you don't want to waste your time in a legal battle. Like, because they will eventually get to you. It's like that's the thing, right? Like, so school version, yeah, right. If your brother has a proper license, that's great. SolidWorks is fantastic software, even though it's a little bit confusing to get started. But just don't pirate. Like, if you have no use for SolidWorks, perfect. Just don't touch it. but if you have to, just trust me. Don't pirate SolidWorks. I've met multiple people in person now that have had to deal with Dassault's legal team. so just saying. I think technically, if you never upload any SolidWorks file you generate from a pirated version, I think you'll be fine technically. But yeah, what sent? Which one? Twitter. Huh? Where is it? Huh? Oh, here we go. Okay, it didn't load for a sec. Oh, what is it? It's like a... It's like a cafe of some kind? Cyberpunk overlay Twitch. Oh, that's where all this pink comes from. Okay. Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, no. That's actually pretty cool. Yeah. I think this would be kind of cool for like a waiting screen, no? If you could like... maybe like green screen out just the 2 screens that have some, or are those windows or are they screens? That's a little hard to tell, to be honest. But I don't know, it kind of reminds me of like a cyberpunk internet cafe type thing, no? Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. And this is what I mean, right? Like this kind of AI stuff I'm really excited for, once we can deal with all the legal issues or all the legal gray areas. I'm really excited for, because so one thing I want to do is actually here's another one. I don't know if you've had the chance to look at it, but it was it's for low light noise reduction. Where is that video? Let's see. Low light noise reduction nerf. This. Oh, wait, no, where's the original video? Where is the original video? Wi-Fi eject. Oh no, although that's very convenient too. Look at this. Look at. Oh no, no. I guess I had the right video. Okay. Look at this, dude. What I want to do is, you know, the music video for Stellar Stellar. Oh, actually, no. Have you heard Hoshimachi Suise's Stellar Stellar? If you have, there's a bunch of images in the dark of like real life images, and then she's either like composited on or something. And I kind of wanted to do a cover of Stellar Stellar, and I wanted to do the same thing. But I was having an issue getting like dark, like you know, in the dark pictures of like the city because there'd be so much noise. But then I saw this. Um, I saw this video, and what they do is that they essentially they take they have a system that takes the raw sensor data of images or of multiple images and essentially learns the noise pattern of the camera of the sensor that you're using, and it uses that to reconstruct well, I guess just it uses that to essentially just get rid of the noise and it works in the dark too, which is really crazy. But like this speaking of like machine learning, this is what I want to use, right? And it's crazy because you watch the video and they're right. Like it looks a lot, but now is it as good as like a just a well lit scene? No, but like it looks really good. Like so this is actually the kind of one I want to play around with at some point. Oh shit, I just closed it. Where is my browser? So I want to do something like using this low light thing for like real life images to get rid of the noise from the image, and then use like AI for like illustrated background images and stuff. Eventually, I want to get to that, but yeah. And I feel like with the low light one that I just showed, it's great because I'll be the one taking the pictures. So all I need to do is cite the fact that I used, I took the pictures, right? So the AI art one is just the oh, well, this is cool. This could be like your own room or something, right? Like the right, like the low light, it's like I know that's probably ideal behavior, but still like it's like it's like no shit. Why didn't I think of that? Honestly, it's like no shit. Like yeah, learn the noise pattern of the camera sensor itself. Like that makes so much sense. It's like this is why this person works at Google, right? Uh, they're smart enough to think of something like that. So yeah, but yeah. I want to set that up eventually, but we'll see when I get to it. But this room is nice. Are you going to use that for your stream too? I probably shouldn't be encouraging you because we've kind of established that the legality is a little bit in question, but it would be nice, right? This looks cool for like a steampunk. I don't know. Did you type in steampunk again? Because it seems like it kind of retained like the steampunk, like sharp edges, sharp angles, sharp edges type look. That's cool though. Yeah, it is definitely a little bit of a gray area. Cyberpunk. What did I say? I said not? Did I say steampunk? Sorry. In my head, I was saying cyberpunk. I don't know what I actually said. Sorry about that. But right. Yeah, I'm running out of tea. I'm so glad I stockpiled on drinks before I left. Ow. Excuse me. Ow. I said steampunk? Oh, yeah, no, that's a little different. That's a lot different. Yeah. What is this other... Oh, wow, the keyboard is totally messed up in that picture. The AI is smart, but I guess it hasn't really... That's one issue, isn't it? But I'm amazed it can do stuff like the chair, right? Or like the shoes. Like the shoes look... Like, I don't... Okay, the left shoe looks a little weird, but like the right shoe looks totally fine. It's like... Yeah, wow. Out of Valorant? I actually haven't played Valorant, so I'll take your word for that. I should try sometime. It's like CSGO, but like more hero shooter-ish, right? I've never played CSGO, and I suck at games that require that kind of accuracy, but it looks really fun. And actually, one thing I really like about watching, or at least watching Valorant, is I feel like visually it's very like clean. And this is coming from playing Overwatch, right? Where you've got barriers and ultimates and all this shit going on. And like honestly, when double barrier was big in Overwatch, I remember there's a meme where it's like, it's got like you've got like two like map wide shield or Symmetra's map wide shields going up, plus like both shield tanks on screen at the same time, and it just looks like a mess. And it's like compared to that, I think at least visual, I think Valorant's much cleaner. So I do want to try eventually, but it seems like fun, and it seems like it's pretty. It's pretty. What do you call it? No, first of all, it seems fun. The end, but yeah. Yeah, that's cool though. That's fun. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder what the best way to do that is, though. Yeah, because I think, hmm. I guess basically it's at least with the AI stuff. I guess it's this. Um, there's a lot of like stock asset websites, right? Like for like video editors, you can get like a bunch of like stock assets. If there were a similar platform like that, but for like anime style art, then I think it would be feasible to use those platforms and then get like a subscription to the platform, train off the data off of that platform, and then say legally you're fine because you have a commercial license to use all the art on the platform. But if it's trained off of just generally, scraped data, then it's entirely possible that there's some sort of commercial use only art in there that it trains off of. So, yeah, so realistically, what I see happening is that in the next maybe year or so, or year or two, several years maybe, someone's probably going to do that. Someone's probably going to like have like create a like one of these AIs, except with the proper legalities in place, and then I bet a lot of people start using it. Because that, like, for me, like, for example, for me, that's the only thing stopping me from like really looking into, well, that plus classes, but yeah, so that'll be exciting. um I'm not the one going to be the one to do it though. I feel like it'd be a fun community project though. Holy shit, wait, do they actually say that? They literally just say it's not my problem. It's like, yeah, it's your problem. You're the ones that have the model data for the AI. That's where the problem is. Or oh wait. Are they saying that I think I might get what they're saying then. They're saying that they well, it's basically like if you use it within our platform and you don't publicly do anything, then we won't do anything to you. And then if you go public, then we can't say anything. But that still doesn't raise the issue that it's not clear if they're legally allowed. Yeah, exactly. It's like it's like literally it's like it's not our problem, and it's like that's not a good that's not how this works. That's not how commercial use agreements work. Like you can't just say, "Oh, it's not our problem." That's not how any of this works. That's not how law works. You can't just steal art and then say, or you can't steal art that needs a legal license and say, "Oh, we're not, only our users get to use it, so it's fine." It's like, no, you're selling a service using someone else's work that explicitly requires a license. Like But that's not your problem. That's their problem. I'm gonna be honest. So like I don't worry about it too much. But I can't believe that their legal position is it's not our problem. They're asking to get sued. I'm gonna be honest, dude. Now, again, that's not your problem. But they are pretty much asking to get sued. Yeah. Of course, unless they have commercial use agreements for all the training data. If they do, then they're fine, I think. And then this agreement says that, you know, we're legally, or, if they're legally okay, they're just saying you can't use our service for anything except within our platform. And if they're allowed to use that stuff within their platform by their whatever agreements they sign, then they'd be okay. It's not clear if they have commercial use agreements for the training data and stuff. Yeah. So again, I wouldn't worry about it, dude. But yeah, that's really funny. It's just like not a problem, dude. Shit, my dad's an attorney. I wonder if I should just forward him this website and be like, Dad, I think we can get some clients. My dad doesn't need any more clients. He's fine. But actually, my dad told me there's apparently a term for in law called ambulance chasers that specifically refers to lawyers that go after like injury like settlements. They're called ambulance chasers. Imagine if there's like AI chasers. Imagine if like AI chasing becomes its own like field of law. Just going after companies or individuals that use AI for, without proper licensing. Yeah. Yeah. I think my dad actually, he used to do something, some like pro bono work, if I understand correctly. But, yeah, he's, the one advice I've heard him say multiple times is that, difficult clients really aren't worth the trouble. Yeah. Literally not. Yeah, no, that's just hilarious, man. That's just like, I I don't know. I don't understand law. Maybe they're totally right in writing it like this, but I don't know. I really don't think it works like that. Like I that's true. I don't know either. So I could be wrong. But again, I really don't think it works like that. But if I'm wrong, then I welcome, being corrected. Like I really don't know I haven't studied law. That's totally true. Yeah. Well, no, I think it's within the bounds of current laws, right? So, so I think right, like I think there's a way to bring it totally legally clear, like So in terms of usage, they quote unquote used someone's art to train the model, right? So as long as when the art that they used has a commercial use agreement and they agree to it or they abide by it, then they are allowed to use the model data for stuff like, say, training an AI, as long as, again, if it's included in the agreement or the agreement just says in general commercial use. And then they're okay to charge money for their platform. And then on their platform, they're okay to just say, like, for example, their agreement might say their company is allowed to use the model, the data or the art to train or for stuff like commercial use or anything like training the model or just publishing it or whatever, right? But that license doesn't extend to you, the user. They could sign an agreement that says, we and our users are commercially authorized to use this art or something, and then you would also be allowed to use the art and whatever derives from it, presumably, as long whatever the agreement says, right? But I don't think they signed any agreements like that. So at most, they probably only have the right to use it for commercial. The company are probably the only ones with commercial use authorization, right? So that's why their terms of service probably say stuff like you can't, they aren't accountable for whatever goes out of their platform because, and if you look at several other agreements, they often work like this, where the commercial use or the whatever use agreements don't extend beyond the company or their platform. So when the user goes beyond, they're just saying, like, we didn't sign anything that says either or, so we can't do anything. So I think this is well within the realm of existing laws. The only specifics is how derivative works are treated, I think, and that's an ongoing issue in many fields. Like dojins, for example, have an issue with what's treated as a derivative work and what it can be done within the bounds of, uh, like when you go to like comic market in Japan, technically most, if not all of most people that self-publish there, and right, yeah, fan-made games, they don't necessarily have an agreement. Now, if they do, then they're legally fine, but technically they're not allowed to publish the derivative work unless, so on and so forth. So, and most companies also have in their agreements, they do say, yeah, non-commercial derivative works are fine. And yeah, like Nintendo is a good example of how they really enforce their IP protection. But if you look at the Nintendo TOS, the reality is they have the right to do that. It's just most people don't go through the trouble or just let people. But legally speaking, yeah, they're allowed to protect their IP. Although, how many years has it been for Pokemon? Shouldn't their what do you call it? Their I wonder how many years they have control over it before it goes public domain. No, yeah, Nintendo's still, I think, kind of ridiculous in that respect. It's just that they're legally backed ridiculous. Sega's done. I mean, I feel like I can't remember, but my understanding is Sega's much more open towards like fan or derivative works. I know Capcom's kind of ass about that kind of stuff too, but at least they do more collabs and stuff. Yeah. Oh, really? Okay. Oh, yeah. Wasn't one of like the recent Sonic games like started out as like a fan work or something? Yeah, Sonic Mania, right? Is that, I don't remember what the details are. Is that just purely a fan game, or is it one that they acquired or they like hired the developer or something? I can't remember, but it was something like that, right? Of course, I think part of that's because Sega really doesn't have any money to like Sega needs all the goodwill they can get. They're not in the best position, but nonetheless, right? That doesn't change the fact that they're very open to that kind of stuff. So purely fan mating, bot license. Ah, I see. Right, and then that's a perfect example, right? They just needed a license. Doing great. Well, I guess yeah, that's fair. Sega's doing fine. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. They're just, it's just compared to the other gaming powerhouses in Japan, they may not be doing as well, but you're right. You're right. From a financial standpoint, I guess they are doing fine. They don't need to have a game console or whatever to do fine, right? In fact, it probably makes it easier for them to be, financially. It probably helps their financials to not have to deal with development of a game console or some shit like that. Yeah. Yeah. But let's see. Dr. Florient? あ、そうなんだ。じゃあ、やばい。日本語で自己紹介あんまできないんですよね。ちょっと今頭の中で翻訳してるんですけど、まあいいや。あの、 ちょっと待って。ちょっと待ってよ。Just a little bit of Japanese? Okay, yeah, sorry. I can't do I was trying to I have a sorry, so if you're looking for a cute anime girl with a cute anime voice, sorry to disappoint. If you get this, feel free to stay. Right now I guess I'm supposed to be studying, but I'm just chatting. Because I don't know, I just don't feel like studying right now, honestly. But sorry, I was trying to translate that in my head. I guess it would be かわいいまあいいや。アニメ声の美少女を期待していたのなら、期待、it's a little redundant to say 期待外れで、I guess it's 期待してたら、残念ながらこういうものです。これでもよろしいのでしたら、ごゆっくりどうぞ。Maybe something like that. It's not a direct translation, but I feel like it gets the idea across. Right? So if you're looking for a cute anime girl with a cute anime voice, started its point. If you get this, if you were to stay. Yeah. I think, okay, so it's something like that. Sorry. I basically never have to do my introduction in Japanese, so I didn't really think about how to translate it. Yeah, I can't do that fast real-time translation. But anyway. But yeah, how's it going? Yeah. What, PSO2? That's Phantasy Star Online, right? Hasn't the PC version of 2 been in the works for like years? I feel like I heard about, PC version of 2 is coming like years ago. Like, am I wrong, or has that thing been like in development or like almost here for like for I want to say easily a decade? Yes, correct. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. I remember seeing it in a Japanese magazine. I was like, oh, this game looks cool, you know? I was like, oh, and there's gonna be a PC version. It's like it's never arrived. Anyway, hiragana and katakana. Well, yeah, that's I mean, you gotta get started somewhere, right? And kanji is one of those things where people are like, oh, how many kanji do I need to know to learn know Japanese? It's like, it depends, and it depends on what field you want to go into, right? Like, being able to read a newspaper and just like, and be able to work in Japan, like for example, like being able to read a newspaper and being able to watch the news is one vocab set of kanji, right? But being able to do like business. So my dad did some legal work in Japan, and like the language set that you need to know for that is like not vastly different, but it has an entire different that's one thing versus the kind of language that you need to know to like work, for example, or work as like a teacher, for example, or that's going to be different, right? So for kanji, if you can read hiragana and katakana, like that means you can read furigana, right? Like if you open Shonen Jump in Japan, right, and you look at the kanji, there's always the hiragana like reading right next to it. So that'll get you started, right? So useful. Yeah, right. Yeah, I like kanji because, like, honestly, for stuff like Twitter, you can fit just so much more text. You can fit so much more information in the same character limit. During the only released like 2 years ago. Okay, really? That took that long for NA servers? Okay. They did a game engine rework? Holy shit. No wonder it took so long. Muzukashii? Do you mean muzukashii? Sorry, I didn't mean that anyway. I was just trying to figure out what you were trying to say. Muzukashii? Kanji no kanji ga muzukashii って言いたいのかな? I don't know. 10 years. So speaking of old game engines, though, I used to play Mabinogi, and I guess they've never they've slowly like updated the game engine over the years, but they've never done a full revamp. And I'm like, damn, that game is like, it's so hilarious. That game, it's an Exxon game, but like Muzukashii. Oh, okay. Also, you need an E, or an E. It's Muzukashii E, not just shi. It's where's the keyboard? Here, Muzukashii. Yeah. muzukashi. There. Hopefully, yeah, okay, I think that... Do you see the comment? Oh, wait, is that the right kanji? I think that's right, muzukashi. That's the problem with kanji, right? It's like you keep muzukashi. I just kind of... yeah, I think it's the... yeah, I think that's right, kanji. But there's an E there, which may explain why it didn't automatically come up on autoconvert or on auto, autoconvert to kanji, right? That's the one annoying thing about kanji, right? At least when you're typing. If you mistype, then it'll totally throw off the autoconvert. So it can be hard to find the right kanji. Came out on the game. Is it that old? Oh, you know what? No, I remember seeing a video. You can still play on the GameCube on like private servers, right? I remember seeing a video about that. I was really amazed. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, Japanese is hard, but it's and I don't really think it's honestly useful, but it's good that you learned hiragana and katakana, right? Because that'll get you started, right? And then you can start learning kanji. Yeah. I would definitely just start by learning kanji that are relevant to you. Now, what is relevant depends on what you're interested in, right? But yeah. Probably shouldn't be encouraging kind of biased learning like that, but I mean, yeah. I just don't like when people say like, oh, I need to do this or I need to do that. It's like, you don't need to unless, like, people say like, oh, I need to learn to program or something. And it's like, unless you're going to program something, no, you don't really need to learn to program. Like maybe there's some computer literacy stuff that you could learn or something, but it's like, you don't need to learn programming, like unless you're going to write a program. Do you need to learn VBA or some kind of other scripting or some kind of scripting or like, do you need to learn like right lines, like those are different. Like, do you need to learn how to use Excel? What is that thing in Excel? But like if you need to learn Excel, that's different from programming, right? So I try to tell people it's like you don't need to learn it unless you, yeah. これはちょっと訳しているのでいいのかな? I can't actually read that much kanji either. Is that 訳している? Is that the right reading? Yeah. 訳している, okay. Wait, why does it say wake? No, it's yaku. Anyway, I don't know, Google had the wrong yomigana. Sorry, what is the question? Using DeepL, okay. But what were you trying to say? I mean, I guess I can infer. You're saying これは, so is this, and then うまく訳しているのでしょうか? So does this trans... Oh, that's why it comes out so weird. Okay, so that's why it sounds so weird. So normally if you were to ask that question, okay, it tried to shove Takahara in there, and it probably didn't know how to... Wow, okay, interesting. It's kind of interesting because you kind of get to see what the AI is trying to do. But because this is implicit, I think DeepL got confused on how to translate it. There probably wasn't enough context for DeepL to translate it properly. Oh, that's why. That's so interesting. Okay. I think the correct translation would be either, I don't know if you want to put Takahara-san at the end. これで良いのでしょうか? はいはいはい、そういうわけ。そう。Now, to I think the more natural translation for what you initially typed would have been, この文章はうまく訳されていますか? 翻訳 so technically, there's there's two kinds of translate in Japanese that specifies whether it's verbal or written. There's honyaku and tsuyaku. Tsuyaku is, and in fact, if you look at the kanji for it, tsuyaku, tsuyaku versus honyaku. There. Yeah. Yeah, so here's a mini kanji lesson. So look at those two words there. There's the Chinese character and then the hiragana on the right to each character or each word, right? So you'll notice that the second character there is the same. And you'll notice that the second character in the kanji for both cases is the same, right? And that's actually the same kanji as what you wrote in the first thing you had translated, right? It's yakushiteiru. Yakushiteiru is actually an abbreviation. And it in general, it's or I guess it's either an abbreviation. I guess it's not necessarily an abbreviation, but the point is that when you say yakushiteiru, you're not actually specifying what kind of translation it is. Technically, you can be more specific, and you can specify whether it's a verbal a translation of words or a translation of text, and that's the distinction of the two that I wrote there. Tsuyaku on the left is to translate words or speaking, and honyaku is to translate text. So in your case, to make the original translation more natural, you probably could have specified to say, does this text translate well? And then DeepL probably would have used honyaku. So you could say, kono bunsho, does this paragraph, does this block of text translate well? この文章はうまく翻訳されていますか? Or something like that. And then you could put Takahara-san to specify that you're speaking to me or something at the beginning of the end. So you could say like Takahara-san, この文章はうまく翻訳されていますか? Or この文章はうまく翻訳されていますか? Takahara-san or something, right? So that's an interesting case where because of how implicit the question was, DeepL couldn't fill in the blanks because it didn't know if you wanted, so, right? So I think you could probably nudge DeepL to give the right translation by specifying like that. But the interesting thing is you need to understand Japanese to do that, right? And this is why I think these AIs are very cool, because you kind of get into it's interesting to think about, right? Because it's like, the word translate in English just covers everything. There's so it's like it's I just think these things are fun. So anyway. PS4 back in the day because I created Sega Jap. Oh, no, that's fair. That's fair. They try to region lock everything like that, right? Yeah, no, and I can't blame them, right? Because I'm sure Sega doesn't want to deal with making a. Well, there's like publishing agreements and stuff that they're probably not clear about, so they probably want to keep it to Japan just for their own legal, just to keep things legally easy for them. But yeah, it is a little unfortunate though. They have to. Yeah. Sorry, let me go to the bathroom. Just toilet. Let me see that. Actually, mute. どこだ Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, well, I'm sure they don't care right now, right? Because it's not like it's causing any legal issues. But I can see why they just put it there in the first place because it's like, because that lets them say, oh, we tried to stop them. It's not our fault that there's a bunch of people bypassing our region lock. So so I'm sure they don't care, but I can see why they implemented it in the first place, just to be like, oh, but we tried. Um, exactly right. Like it's still money for them. Yeah. Japan can be a little bit slow for things like that, and I don't really blame them. Um, it's like it's a lot of it can being kind of fast about or being kind of you know with like legal issues, it's a lot less of a hassle if you just do it right the first time, right? So oh oh really okay oh muscle. JP. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, they could just not have a captcha, but well, I guess that could result in a um spam. But yeah, that's interesting though. Yeah, yeah. Although speaking of, so PSO2 is an MMO, right? Actually, I should really just go to sleep soon, but maybe 1 o'clock, and then we'll just give up on studying today. It's okay. Let me charge my iPad for tomorrow morning though. Um, but um, but yeah, like I think I really want to see an MMO that really takes advantage of smartphones, and specifically in game development, there's a concept of asymmetric gameplay. Um, so the like Dead by Daylight is a good example of asymmetric gameplay where one person's playing like the enemy and then the four players are each on the okay, yeah, maybe we should all go. But I guess what I was saying is that with like the PSO2 being an MMO kind of reminded me. I wish there was an MMO that really took advantage of like asymmetric gameplay, but instead of making it asymmetric between players, I wish they made it asymmetric based on what device. Well, it's like imagine if you combine Pokemon Go and then like but had it so like there's specific things you can do on the computer, but then specific things you can do only on your phone. Or maybe not only on your phone, but like easier on your phone. So like I guess that's the idea. I couldn't really think of a good way to actually do something like that, but like I've I've thought about it a little bit, but really not much. But the kind of idea being like the Division actually had something kind of close to what I was thinking, where in the Division people can control drones on their iPad or something like that. I think it's the Division. It's either the Division or what was it? I think it was the Division, but one of the selling points is that Ubisoft had this iPad app, and if your friend was like say not at their console, they could still play with you by using their iPad to control a drone, and they could team up with you and stuff, and like it's like that kind of stuff where depending on what device you're using, there's a more convenient or like there's a different gameplay. There's a different gameplay like type waiting for you there. You do that. I guess that's true. Yeah. If your friends having a barbecue, you can fly a drone and be like, yeah, and join in. Although I see FPV like the FPV like drone racing. That's so crazy. It's crazy the kind of stuff they can pull off. Yeah. But like that with an MMO, like something that takes advantage of like the fact that your phone has a portable touchscreen and is somewhat trackable with like GPS and stuff, and then something you can only do at a computer, for example, and something you can only do with I don't know. I just wish there was an MMO that really took advantage of all those things. And honestly, I think if they can't think of if no one can think of an MMO that takes advantage of all those things, I really think MMOs are just gonna die out because otherwise it's like it's just not convenient. Yeah. I mean, I can't think of a good way to implement such a thing, but I guess there's a couple things actually, like Pokemon in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, um, on the original one on the DS, you could use the touchscreen to do like mining. So really any touchscreen device can do that kind of thing. So if you had a game where you had to do mining, then maybe you make the mining part maybe you do mining by going out and going out Pokemon Go style and then mining something and then coming back to your computer and then maybe doing something on the computer to process the stuff that you mined or something. Or I don't really know the details, but like you maybe could do something like that. Or yeah. Okay, I probably should get to sleep. I'm getting tired and I'm still not really in the mood to study all that much. Let's see. Yeah. Let me just memo down which lecture this is. So this is the 23rd. 23rd. Okay. Yeah, because I got a lecture in the morning as a reason for exercise. Honestly, so I played Ingress, the thing that Niantic developed before Pokemon Go. I thought it was really fun. I didn't really get that far because there weren't a lot of points of interest near me, but like I think Pokemon Go and Ingress were actually pretty, like interesting as a game. And yeah, like it was a good excuse to just go outside, like legit. The problem is just that we live too far away from anything. uh, but yeah. But yeah, Sora, thanks for thanks for staying till the end, and anyone else that happens to be here, thanks for staying till the end. Um, Tomorrow, well, my COVID test came back, right? Let's see. Let me just double check. My COVID test that I took on campus on Monday came back, and it said I was negative, so it should be safe for me to go back to campus. So I think from tomorrow I should be streaming from it's Tsung? Is that what it was? I thought it was. Wait, then why were we talking about saying Sora? Weren't we talking the other day about how Sora by itself is kind of. Well, sorry. Okay, yeah, sorry. My memory is just like totally shot then. Or we were talking about Tsung. We were talking about Tsung. Okay. Wow, my memory is absolutely shot. Okay. thanks. But Tsun って言いづれえな、やっぱTsun. Can I say Tsun-san then? I think that's easier to say. Tsun-san. なんかそれでもちょっと言いづらいな。Tsun-san. Tsun-san. Tsun by itself, or was it? No, yeah, Sora I guess is easier to say because there's two syllables, but anyway, but Tsun, thanks for Tsun-sang. Yeah, sorry, Tsun-sang is just so easier to say. Let's just add Tsun-sang. Yeah, let's just add san to it because I feel like without another syllable, it's just so hard to say. But Tsun-san, thanks for staying till the end. Yeah, COVID test came back negative, so I should be clear. Oh, actually, wait, sorry. Some COVID testing kits are combined with a test for other viral infections at no additional cost. If your test result also shows results for flu A, B, and RSV, your sample is included in this testing regimen. but my result doesn't include that information. So or did it? Your lab results are available in the patient portal. To view results, please select visits, medication, lab results. Visits. Where's the patient portal? Got code. Oh, no. I got a test just to make sure I didn't catch it, and I didn't. I'm just trying to figure out where the test results are. Forms, insurance cards, surveys, health compliance. What? Where? What? Is this not the patient portal? Where's the information? What? Lab results. Here we go. SARS, saliva, RT, PCR, COVID test. Okay. And view report. Oh, the test that I did was only for COVID. Okay. It says in here. Okay. Yeah, but man, they processed this super fast. So I did this test at like noon on the 10th. Or wait, no, not on the 10th. I think I did it on the... No, I did it at noon on the 10th. Yeah. And I think the result came out on the morning of the 11th. So literally within 12 hours. I was like, they processed it super fast. I was honestly really impressed. Like I know there's not probably less people taking the tests right now, but I was like, even then, I guess they must have picked it up and like immediately tested it. So I was impressed. And that's what you get for going to university. Like it's at least a decent chunk of funding. Anyway, could last like a week and a half. Oh, geez, yeah. I mean, hopefully, I know one of my colleagues got COVID and their cough just continued for like I want to say a month, but hopefully there's nothing too much like or nothing too bad like that. Actually, it's 1 o'clock. Okay, sorry. So let me. Where's my Apple Pencil? I'm gonna put it back. Okay. Let's set an alarm. So I got class at 10. So. Let's try 7:30. Let's be optimistic and say I can get up at 7:30. So let's set the alarm for 7 then. Let's be optimistic. And that I just like a bad cold. Okay, that's well, it's not good to hear, but it's good that it wasn't too bad. Yeah, I think I'll be optimistic with these alarms. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So let's see. So tomorrow, now that I can go back on campus without really worrying about, passing anything on to anybody, I'll probably stream from campus tomorrow. So, that way I have my overhead camera and stuff. So yeah. Tsin-san, thanks for coming by, and thanks to anyone else for that might have stayed till the end. I've realized that Twitch counts active users, I think, by the last time the user comments. I've noticed that, but so it's hard to tell if someone just is there and listening but not commenting. Then it's hard to know if they're there. So it's kind of annoying. I wish they would tell you that information, because it's not like it's like like I don't know. For at least for me, I have a good chunk of people that are nice enough to just leave the stream on, right? So it'd be nice to know that they're there. But yeah, I mean, Twitch has its reasons too. Anyway. So, yeah, just because, like, otherwise I just don't know. Anyway, so yeah. So tomorrow, let's see. So I said tomorrow, yeah, and then yeah. So we're gonna be cramming a lot. I think the next week going forward, at least until the 21st, which is when my exam is. So yeah. I think since you said that um it's pretty early in the morning for you too, so let's try to get some rest. Yeah, yeah. Take care. Thanks for listening to me. Blabber on for an entire 2 hours and 46 minutes. But yeah, let's gotta